Ever notice how your thumb knows exactly what to do the moment you unlock your phone? Scroll, pause, like, comment, share. You don't even think about it. It's muscle memory now, a reflex. But here's the thing most people don't realize. That reflex didn't start with Instagram. It didn't start with Facebook. It didn't even start with the World Wide Web. The way we talk online, the way we argue, the way we form communities, identities, and even friendships. All of it traces back to a handful of Americans sitting in basements, dorm rooms, and government labs decades ago, listening to the hum of dial-up modems and watching green letters flicker across black screens. Tonight, we're going back to a time when logging on meant something different, when being online was an event, and when America quietly invented the social internet without even realizing it. I'm Clyde Chester, and this is the hidden story of America's first online communities and how they shaped modern culture. To understand where we're going, we need to rewind way back, before memes, before influencers, before the idea of going viral. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, computers weren't personal. They were massive machines owned by universities, corporations, and the U.S. government. Most Americans had never seen one in person, but something revolutionary was happening behind closed doors. In places like MIT, Stanford, UCLA, the Pentagon's ARPA program, researchers were experimenting with a radical idea. What if computers could talk to each other? Not just exchange data, but connect people. This was the birth of ARPANET, the grandfather of the modern Internet. It was funded by the U.S. Department of Defense, built during the Cold War, and designed to survive a nuclear attack. But what surprised everyone wasn't military efficiency. It was human behavior. As soon as people were connected, they started talking. One of the earliest uses of ARPANET wasn't classified intelligence, it was email. By the early 1970s, American researchers were sending messages back and forth, not just about work, but about life. They joked, they argued, they formed inside jokes. Sound familiar? By 1973, over 75% of ARPANET traffic was personal communication. Right there, America accidentally discovered something powerful. People don't just use networks to exchange information. They use them to build community. And that instinct would soon escape government labs and spill into everyday American life. In the late 1970s, a quiet revolution started, not in Silicon Valley boardrooms, but in suburban basements. In 1978, Chicago, two hobbyists, Ward Christensen and Randy Suze, created something called a bulletin board system, or BBS. You dialed in using your home phone line. If someone else was already connected, you got a busy signal. If not, you entered a digital town square. Inside BBSs, Americans could post messages, share files, ask for advice, debate politics, form niche communities. There were BBSs for ham radio enthusiasts, science fiction fans, veterans, LGBTQ Americans seeking safe spaces, political radicals on both the left and right. These weren't anonymous mobs. They were small towns. Everyone knew each other's usernames. Reputations mattered. Moderators acted like sheriffs. This is where online moderation was born. Trolls were first identified. Flame wars erupted. Digital etiquette, netiquette, was invented. Every argument you've ever seen online, it has a BBS ancestor. Then came Usenet, launched in 1979 by Duke University students Tom Truscott and Jim Ellis. Usenet wasn't one community, it was thousands. Discussion groups called news groups covered everything: politics, religion, parenting, computers, conspiracy theories, and Americans did what Americans do best. They debated hard. Usenet gave rise to long-form arguments, quote-reply culture, threaded discussions. The concept of OP, original poster, it also gave us internet slang, LOL, IMHO, FAQ, flame. This was America's first digital public square. Messy, loud, passionate, and deeply democratic. No blue checks, no algorithms, just voices. Here's something radical Usenet and BBS has introduced. You didn't have to be who you were offline. A shy kid in rural Iowa could be a respected expert. A closeted teen in Texas could find acceptance. A disabled veteran could be heard without judgment. For many Americans, online communities offered freedom from geography, freedom from social labels, freedom to experiment with identity. This laid the groundwork for avatars, usernames, online personas. The debates we have today about anonymity, they started here. In 1985, something special emerged in Sausalito, California. The Well, the Whole Earth, electronic link. It wasn't massive, it wasn't flashy, but it attracted writers, journalists, musicians, hackers, counterculture, thinkers. People like Stuart Brand believed online communities could reshape society, and in many ways, they did. The Well pioneered real name policies, deep community trust, thoughtful moderation. This is where blogging culture was born, where long-form online storytelling took root, where digital ethics were debated seriously for the first time. By the early 1990s, the dam broke. America Online, CompuServe, Prodigy. Suddenly, millions of Americans were logging on. The culture that had been forged quietly over 20 years flooded into the mainstream. Everything we recognize today, comment sections, online friendships, cancel culture, viral outrage, digital empathy, all of it echoes those early communities, even emojis. They descend from ASCII smileys typed by American engineers trying to show tone in plain text. Every time you join a subreddit, comment on a post, argue in a thread, find community online. You're walking in the footsteps of those early American pioneers. They didn't build social media for profit. They built it for connection, and in doing so, they changed how Americans talk, organize, protest, flirt, learn, and belong. The internet didn't make us social. It revealed how social we already were. So the next time someone says, "The internet ruined everything," remember this: America's first online communities were built on curiosity, collaboration, and hope. And maybe, just maybe, under all the noise today, that original spirit is still there, waiting to be rediscovered. I'm Clyde Chester, and this has been a hidden chapter in the history of the United States. If this story made you see your screen a little differently, you know what to do.